Mr. McCann, thank you so much for joining us. Let's begin with the sentencing. This has been a long waiting period for you and your family. What does the sentencing mean for you?
John, it's just such a huge relief for our family. We've been, as I think you mentioned there, we've been waiting in this process, this legal roller coaster for about 6.5 years, especially this last year of 2016. There was a whole lot of hurry up and wait, and so it was just such a huge relief to have this chapter closed today.
The judge has rendered this life sentence. It may not be life, but that is the sentence. What went through your mind when you heard that's what the sentence was?
I think that that's fabulous. That he killed my parents, two gentle and elderly people, and hid their bodies and has expressed no remorse. I think that's certainly the appropriate sentence, is a life imprisonment. And even though he may get out on parole at some point, he'll be for the rest of his life under these conditions.
Now, we understand from Mr. Vader's lawyer that he is going to appeal to prove what he describes as his innocence. This has been a difficult case, as you know, more than anyone, you know that. How does the prospect of an appeal make you feel?
We've always assumed that there would be an appeal. I mean, I read Justice Thomas's complete verdict, and to me, and I know that I have my own perspective on this, but his judgment was very solid. I thought he really separated out the liars from the truth tellers, and I think that his judgment is very solid and will stand up to any kind of appeal.
And yet this was a complicated case, complicated even more by the initial use of that outdated law, the 25 years outdated law that resulted in this being effectively knocked down to manslaughter from second degree. They've been called zombie laws, still sort of out there on the books, still legal. People may or may not know that they're no longer on the books. You want to fight those, don't you?
I do, and in fact, I think it's ridiculous that we have these zombie laws on the books, and like the Canadian people expect, like the criminal code is on the web, it's published in books. One would expect that, especially the policemen, they would expect to read the criminal code and that's the law of the land, but it's not. It has all these tricky little exceptions in there. And frankly, I tried to communicate with the federal justice minister, Jody Wilson-Raybould, and over a month ago, and I haven't received a response. And personally, I think this is a question of basic politeness. I mean, the court system has put my family through a roller coaster for years, and you'd think that I could somehow elicit a more respectful response from our Canadian government, but over a month later, and I still have no response from them on that.
Well, Mr. McCann, we'll see if we can put in a request and maybe we can get some response from the minister on that.
I appreciate that.
One final question to ask you. As you say, this sentence will hang over him for his whole life, yet he will be eligible to apply for parole in 7 years. Obviously, you want to get beyond this as a family, but is that going to be something that you're going to have to deal with whenever the possibility of his coming up for parole and the possibility of him walking out of a jail and a prison comes up?
Well, we're certainly going to, I mean, there's a registry where we can put our name in, where we'll be informed of any sort of parole application by him, and my family is going to be there, and we're going to we have one basic question we're asking, and that is, Travis Vader, where are the bodies of my parents? And I mean, he has yet to show any sign of acknowledgement that he killed my parents, any remorse, and I think that he needs to be a man and own up to this, and it's really would really help our family in terms of closure on this if we were able to give my parents a respectful burial.
Mr. McCann, once again, we're so sorry for your loss. We want to thank you for your time on this, And we can tell you that we've put a call into the Justice Minister while we were talking, and when we find out, we'll let you know, and we'll let the rest of Canada know as well. Thank you again for your time, sir. Brett McCann is the son of
Thank you, Barry.
Lyle and Marie McCann. He joined us from Melbourne, Australia.